In this video we're going to talk about the CRUD operations. CRUD stands for Create, Read, Update and Delete. Using the Create, we'll create data on the database, while Update will change it. Read will fetch the data to the client from the database, and Delete simply is going to remove the data. Those operations are the most common way to interact with any server, so let me show you how to implement them in a basic project. I work with Visual Studio Code, but you can work with any IDE you want. In the main HTML, I created 4 buttons. Button for each operation. Now I'm not going to mess with any design aspect, I don't want to waste your time. The only thing I'm going to show you here is the JavaScript technical stuff. So let's go ahead and open the main JavaScript. Let's first of all expose all those functions, the create, the read, the update and the delete, and create the function for each operation. Now those functions will be connected to the Firebase object that we created in the first video, so go ahead and check it out after this one ends. So now we are at the Firebase JavaScript and we will create each operation for each function, the same way we've done in the main JavaScript. So let's imagine I have a huge project with lots of creates, lots of updates. All of them would be called from here, and tomorrow if Firebase would change something, I will need to change it only here. So it's a very good way to maintain your project. So let's do the create. Create will get the path, the body, and a callback function that says that everything went good or bad. Firebase object has a method called database, and inside of it we have another method called ref, which gets a path to the data you want to set or read or update or whatever you want. So in this case we pass the body, which is an object, and the callback, which is a function that will be called after the body is going to be set in Firebase. So now I'm making sure I'm passing the path and the body, otherwise it's just going to return. Now I'm going to the main.js and I'm going to initialize the create. As you remember, I need to pass 3 parameters. The path is going to be users and the user ID. If you want to understand why, you will need to see the previous video. If you don't go now, it's okay, you will still understand what I'm doing. So, as I said, the first parameter is the path. The second parameter is the body, so let's create some data. So again, the data is the same as we set in the Firebase rule, which is a name, age, and the message. And the last one is a function, a callback function, and it's kind of a message handler. So if I'm getting an error, I will console log it, otherwise I will console log success. That's it, this is the callback function, let's put it as a parameter. So I'm going to annotate these 3 lines, so the project won't crash, but we're going to do them later. Clicking on the create, look at the right panel, you can see the users have been created. This is the user ID, and these are the properties that we passed in the object. Now this is the rule. So the path is actually a combination of the user and the user ID, which is a variable. So if we're going back, this is the user ID, as you can see, which is some serial number, and it is a dynamic object. That's why we put this prefix of a $sign. Now the data also have the same data, name, age, and message, and if everything is going to pass the validation, then the callback function will not return an error, which in this case we will console log the success. But what happens if I'm going to send something that is not valid? As you can see, I changed the age from number to string. I'll delete the data and try to create again, and you will see that we get error, permission denied error. Setting it up to a number again, and create will work. So we've done the create part, let's work on the update and delete, which are very similar to the create, by the way. The only difference is instead of set in the update we will write update, and in the delete we will write remove, and we will get rid of the body. We still need the path and the callback. So let's go back to the main.js and quickly set up the functions that the HTML will activate. So in the update we will remove the name property, we will change the age and the message. And of course, we will change the create to update. The delete will be much easier. We're just going to copy this line and change the update to delete. We will pass the path and the message handler. That's it. Now you can see the update works. Now I wanted to show you also when we delete it fails because of the validation we set previously. So fixing it will solve the problem. You can see the importance of validation as well. It's a little bit more work, but it will notify you if you have any error. So the last function we have is the read function, and the read function is a little bit more tricky because instead of one callback function, it has two callback functions. The first one is going to be the success function. It means that all the data came and everything is fine. And the second one is the error function. So look the way I'm writing it. It's a little bit different. I'm putting once, then value. And if you're familiar with promises in JavaScript, it will be quite understandable because it's pretty much the same. So you put the then, and the first is the success function, the second one is the error function. Back to the main, we have the read function. We will pass the function with the path, and we will need to set two functions. The first one is the success, and the error we already have one, so we will use the message handler. In the success function, we will check if we have any data. As a parameter, we will get something called snapshot. Snapshot is the object that Firebase gives us when we ask for the data. So first of all, we are going to check if we have the object. If we do have, we will show the value of the object. To get the value, it's snapshot.val. Otherwise, we will console log no data found. So let's go back to the HTML and try to read. So I'm opening the developer tools in Chrome. Clicking on the read button will give us the data. So you can see we have the object. I clicked on the update and tried to read again, and you can see the data was changed. I've deleted the data and I try to read it again and I get null. If you remember, I wanted to get no data found. The reason I got null is because even if I don't have data, Firebase brings me back an object. So it's not enough to check if I have object, I also need to check that I have any value. And clicking on the read again, you can see I get no data, creating and read again, and I have data. You can also check in Firebase itself whether you create, update or delete the data. They have a very cool interface showing it to you. So that's it for this video. If you have any question, you can leave them on the comment section below and I will answer them. If you like this video, click on the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!